Breaking news. Unreleased murder film of YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen has surfaced. What does it show? This news has the entire internet on edge tonight. Alters everything. Fans have been divided over this subject for years. Some have yelled, "Free Melly." Others are certain that he is guilty of sin. Now though, leaked from within the inquiry, a new clip purports to show footage that was kept secret from the public during the initial trial. And this isn't simply another angle, you know? This type of video has the potential to completely upend the case. Voices can be heard according to sources. A new movement is detected for a few terrifying seconds. A third figure, one that was never brought up in court even, makes an appearance in the corner of the screen. Whether what we're listening to is accurate, it implies that another participant was involved in the night that completely altered the course of events for the YNW team, and that someone may have lied under oath. Fans are taken aback. Families are in shock. What about the streets? They are so full of questions. Man, what is actually on this video then? Why now? And who leaked it? And will this be Melly's final chance at freedom or a new trial? The rap community fell silent the night the video was released. New music didn't matter. No tour announcements were more devastating. Everyone was focused, eyes peeled, ears wide open from the clubhouse to the Twitter areas. As the video began to circulate through secret Reddit posts and encrypted Telegram groups, rumors evolved into heated arguments. Who leaked it was unknown. All they were aware of was the game was altered by this. The shaky video was captured by a streetlight camera that was allegedly turned off at the time of the purported murder. And yet, there it was in 240p terror. The audio pauses and resumes. But what remains is enough to chill you to the bone. An automobile comes to a slow stop. Inside, shadows shift. Two figures, shouting. One voice that fans identified as Melly's right away. Bortlen. Another voice, colder, quieter, then something much more bizarre occurs. A third shadow moves past the vehicle. Someone outside? Moving quickly. They appear to be running, almost. The camera then briefly captures the reflection of something metallic in the headlight flash. It's quick. Blink and you'll miss it quickly. Fans, however, slowed down the video frame by frame and insisted that it was a gun and not Melly's. Not by Bortlen, but by the third unidentified figure. Social media went crazy. With a twist, the hashtag #FreeMelly began rising once more. Who is the third man? In a matter of hours, blogs were ablaze. Cassie honestly provided a breakdown, frame by frame, speculating on the identity of the mystery individual after Cheese TV posted a mysterious message that read, "The third figure ain't who y'all think it is." A few fans thought it was a setup. Others described it as a failed heist. And some, a very noisy few, felt that this demonstrated that Melly had always been telling the truth. Shortly after, both families became involved. After the trial, the victim's mother, who had previously remained silent, went live. Her hands were shaking while she clutched the phone, and her face was swollen with tears. She added, her voice breaking, "We were told everything was shown in court. But this now? Are you saying that there was someone else? And no one set up?" Comments came pouring in. Some people are empathetic, others are ruthless. The family was left feeling torn between betrayal, sadness, and the abrupt reopening of wounds they believed the legal system had closed. However, things became much more bizarre. According to a former YSL associate who was famous for sharing inside information live, he was asked to testify in support of Melly's defense back in 2021 and declined it. He never gave an explanation. He was speaking now. He smoked a joint while saying, "I ain't gone, lie, live." That night, someone was attempting to get rid of all those boys, not only the two fatalities. All four. The comments went viral. Was this a success? Was the entire YNW movement being targeted for eradication? And if so, who? Receipts were pulled by fans. A now deleted story from Bortlen that said, "You never know who's plotting behind that smile." In an old life from Melly, he implied that he was set up by people close, months before the case even went to trial. Melly's mother commented, "My son is fighting demons and devils in disguise." There were theories on the internet. According to some, the third man was a member of an opposing crew. Some thought he was a plant for industry. However, some began blaming someone unexpected, a member of Melly's own staff. A Navarro Clubhouse tape claims that just weeks prior to the incident, one of Melly's early producers had a falling out with the crew. According to people close to the team, he allegedly claimed he was cut out the picture after building the whole brand. He had been acting weird, turning up to sessions without an invitation, and sending cryptic comments to group chats. His final message: "Don't be concerned. Karma is on the way." After the shooting night, that same producer vanished. No posts, no occurrences. Not a single word about the trial. Up until the leak of this video, his burner accounts were suddenly active once more. And just 3 words in a tweet sent shivers down everyone's spine. "I warned you all." Screenshots were distributed. Accounts were marked as suspicious. People pleaded for clarification. Neither Melly's nor Bortlen's legal teams have released a statement. Nothing but quiet. However, something was happening behind the scenes. The new tape, according to a source close to Melly's attorney, was part of a batch that was never presented to the defense. And they told a Florida-based radio host that they had reason to believe tampered evidence was withheld in the original trial. If confirmed, that would indicate a mistrial. However, there was an issue. Who was the source of this video leak? Did it illegally? The video may not be allowed in court if the chain of custody cannot be confirmed. Even if it were real, it would still be pointless. Bortlen, meanwhile, was reportedly furious. A narrative of a fuzzy figure pacing back and forth. Purportedly, Bortlen shouting, "This is going to get me killed," was shared by someone close to him. According to the same source, Bortlen was unaware of the existence of the video and now feels vulnerable. According to some, he's getting ready to give a speech in public. Some think he's trying to make a deal. Now, fans are doubting everything. Was Melly at fault? Or did he keep quiet to keep someone safe? Was Bortlen only a pawn or an actual accomplice? The most terrifying of all was figuring out who the man outside the automobile was. Shortly after the gunfire are heard, the video cuts off. Nobody flees. Nobody yells. What's most eerie is the silence. What about the third figure? Like smoke in the wind, it was gone. However, the questions continue to exist. They're growing in number, and just when you believe there is no more depth to it, yes, it does, since there were other leaks that evening besides the eerie video. A fresh voice memo was posted online. The night before the killings, one was recorded, and the recording's voice, it's Melly. And the recording's voice, it's Melly. He speaks in a low voice, very seriously. Not the lively, laughing voice that fans are familiar with from interviews and personal experiences. This voice is heavy, suspicious, and his words. Hold on tight, this is only the beginning of the story. Just after 3 a.m., the voice memo was released. Eastern Time? It was shared anonymously, initially affecting a tiny Discord server before spreading widely in a matter of minutes. Republished on Threads, TikTok, and Twitter. The name of the file, MellyNightBefore.wav. Melly doesn't sound like the lively, happy performer that fans were accustomed to in the video. This Melly sounds nervous, exhausted, silent. The floor creaks beneath his sneakers as he paces. Then he makes a statement that has left everyone reeling for days. "I feel like somebody watching me, brew. This ain't no regular hate. This feel like setup energy." Pause, then he takes a deep breath and seems to be struggling with something. Possibly a lighter. Ain't even about music no more. It's deeper than that. These people, they want control. The video concludes with these 5 terrifying words. They not all who they are. Seem. Everything changed with just one sentence. Fans went into forensic gear right away. The background noise was compared to an Airbnb that Melly was said to have stayed at the night before the killings. Others claimed that the floor creaks matched video from his previous behind-the-scenes vlog. It was authentic, uncooked, one Melly never got to finish. And it sounded like a warning. Thus, there were now two pieces of proof on the internet. Released video that appears to show a third party at the Xenia voice note from Melly, implying that he felt frightened or deceived by a close but. The most shocking revelation. Melly's phone did not record that voice memo. It originated at Bortlen's.na since deleted Reddit post. A hacker, using the moniker Sinister Data, claimed to have access to a wiped iCloud backup. And within that backup, a number of text logs, screenshots, and memoranda dating back 3 weeks prior to the killings. A few communications exchanged between Bortlen and Melly were made public. 3 days before to the occurrence, the most startling one occurred. "Bro, you sure they cool?" asked Melly. "Trust me." Handled Bortlen.Melissa, Ion want no funny vibes. FR, according to Bortlen, if they cross us, we handle it. The final 4 lines, we handle it. It's completely revealed everything. Some fans interpreted it as evidence that Melly and Bortlen knew about the threat and were maybe preparing a retaliation. It sounded like chilly premeditation, according to others. In any case, it made the narrative more difficult. Once black and white in court, the case has recently become muddy and blood crimson. News organizations were unable to ignore the buzz by this point. The spill was covered by local Florida stations. TMZ published the following headline: "New YNW Melly footage raises legal questions." And eyebrows, however, things were worse behind closed doors. That afternoon, a cousin of the victim went live on Facebook. She screamed and pointed at the camera while tears were flowing down her face. "We've been lied to. All of us. My cousin ain't die for this circus." Where was all this in court? According to reports, family members were calling for the case to be reopened. Within 48 hours, 100,000 signatures were added to a petition sent to the Florida State Attorney's Office. In the meantime, people were shaken by Melly's mother's mysterious Instagram story. A single sentence on a black screen. "We was never supposed to lose control of the story." Fans started to wonder who was in charge of it initially. Then followed the betrayal that nobody had anticipated. Little Teo, a rapper from South Florida and one of Bortlen's old pals, went live with what he claimed to be authentic insider information. He sipped lean and added, "Y'all want to know who that third person was? Without a shirt. I ain't gon' say no names. But let's just say he used to ride with us. Then switched up when the money got funny." He asserted that months prior to the killings, animosity had been building within the group. The money vanished. Shows were being canceled. Allegedly, Melly and Bortlen had begun to question everyone in their vicinity. They knew somebody was plotting. But they ain't know who. And when the shots rang out, they thought it was from outside. But it wasn't. It was from inside. After pausing, he unleashed this bomb. "And bro, I think Bortlen know more than he ever told anybody." Comment sections were exploding. Fans pleaded for further details, although Teo declined to identify the third man. His remarks provided the internet a new target: internal betrayal. However, it didn't end there. The identical footage that had previously leaked was now being circulated in a second longer clip. AI filters were used to improve the audio in this version. There were more gunshots, more precise. And immediately following the shootings, a voice is heard mumbling something for the first time. "Don't say nothing. Follow the plan." That voice. Some claim that it is Bortlen. Some people claim that it sounds like someone else. But it gets more darker from here. The automobile leaves. After that line, ... The third figure, the shadow, may be seen moving serenely in the other direction behind it. Not sprinting, not evading, simply walking, as though he was aware that he had accomplished his goal, as though he was completely unfrightened. Fans began to ask the obvious. Who was that voice if Bortlen was behind the wheel and Melly was supposedly in the car at the time? And what strategy were they pursuing? The time frame was broken down by a former Miami cop who is now a podcast broadcaster. What y'all don't realize is this. The prosecution built their case on timing, location, movement. But if that footage is real, And so far it's checking out, then it completely changes the geography of the crime, meaning the whole case has to be reevaluated. And that opens the door to either a retrial or a total collapse. The stakes are really high. Melly, who is still incarcerated, has not spoken out. His legal team hasn't said a word. In the meantime, Bortlen was seen sporting shades and a hoodie at a Boca Raton gas station. Videos were taken by fans. He disregarded the shout, "You gone, fold or fight," drove away. The person that pulled that trigger wasn't supposed to be there. Only 7 minutes of the live stream were available. Then it vanished, removed, cleaned, not a replay. However, the entire event had previously been screen recorded by viewers, reposted it, dissected it, reduced its speed, and the theory had now shifted once more. Whether or not Melly did it was no longer the only consideration. People were now wondering if Bortlen intentionally walked Melly into a setup. Twitter took off. Trending hashtags included #FreeMelly, for real, and #BortelNKnew. We viewed previous interviews again, reanalyzed old posts, with more than 4 million views. One TikTok made note of how Bortlen always appeared uneasy in pictures with Melly following the killing, standing rigid, hardly grinning, and constantly turning away. And then the event that once again altered everything arrived. Bortlen said he didn't go live. He didn't make a comment public. A music video was released by him. Fans believe that the words of the full-length visual named Pressure are directed specifically against Melly, his brother, and the investigators working on the case. One line chilled people to their core. "I didn't touch that metal, however. They accused me like the devil. They don't see what I witnessed that evening." The bezel's heart grew. Icy Dodd, he was seen driving alone at night in the footage. The rearview mirror was being examined. He has a shot that leaves his eyes wide and terrified. Another, strikingly identical to the leaked video, depicts a silhouette passing the rear of his vehicle. And last, a sequence in which he burns a letter, according to some fans. That was the letter. The confession that was not signed. Proof. Others believe that his declaration that he was done with the stillness was significant. In any case, it was obvious that Bortlen would no longer be silent. However, he also wasn't going to bear the entire burden immediately. There were reports that Bortlen was getting ready to flip. According to one blogger, they received a request for immunity discussions from a source inside the DA's office. Although no name was provided, admirers were immediately making connections. What will happen to Melly if Bortlen flips? Furthermore, what does it signify for the third man? Recall that the identity of the third individual in the video has not yet been verified. Fans continued to dig despite this. According to one particularly in-depth Reddit discussion, the Silhouettes Gate was compared to that of a former YNW affiliate who, after posting with Melly and Bortlen in 2017, abruptly disappeared from all social media. The most bizarre aspect? A sealed witness list from the initial trial had his name. Currently, the theory is as follows. Months prior to the killings, this third man, a government informant, was installed inside the NY Circle. He allegedly planted guns, stole money, and caused drama. He appears out of the blue the night of the tragedy. The gun goes off. People die. He disappears. The bag is left in the hands of Melly and Bortlen and the federal government. They remain quiet. Some people think this explains why there were so many redacted documents and odd discrepancies. In the first trial, there is some missing evidence. Some never appeared. Persons giving private testimony. Gag orders for witnesses. Melly himself then made a move, just when fans believed that things couldn't get much better. No post. Not a tweet. The bio on his official page was updated. It currently says, "I told y'all." Now, you see, it only required that the chronology became visible. It was reposted with sirens on fan pages. This was the sign people swore that Melly was finally going to say something. In court, perhaps. Through his team, perhaps. However, something was on the horizon, and sure enough, there was another leak. This time, it was an email purportedly delivered to the judge by Melly's legal team. The email asked for a motion to add the video, which is new digital evidence to the case. The voice memo, the letter of confession, if accepted. It might lead to a complete acquittal or perhaps a retrial. However, that also carries the risk of everything being made public. Every action, each and every text, each message, and each and every name. The victims' relatives are now calling for justice once more. But this time, true justice. In a heartfelt Facebook message. One mother wrote, "I don't care who goes down. Just give me the truth. That's all I ever wanted. Not lies, not silence. The truth." The internet is on edge as pressure mounts from both sides. Families versus silence, fans versus bloggers. And Melly's squad versus the state. And the court must now make a ruling. Will the new evidence be accepted? Is Bortlen going to flip? And that third man, who the devil was he? Because everything up to this point has been a mystery, a shadow, and conjecture. Asian. For days there had been reports of a final leak. But nobody anticipated what would happen next. This video wasn't another one. Wasn't a memo.was owned a message at all? A voicemail was left. Not just any voicemail either. Minutes after the killings at 2:41 a.m., this one was left. And the voice on the line? Bortlen. An unidentified site initially shared the audio late on Sunday night with a statement. "Are you prepared for the truth? Play this." The entire rap community was rocked by what came next. Bortlen's voice is fast, whispering, and terrified. He sounds as though he is hiding or crouching. Even though the message is brief, 17 seconds, everyone should hear it. "Yo, it's finished. It traveled to the left. I didn't realize he was going to do it that way. Bro, Melly is still in the dark. Simply prepare the vehicle. I'm going to slide out the rear. Everything changed after hearing those words. Melly don't even know yet." It validated what many people had thought but had never publicly stated. That the killings might have taken place without Melly's knowledge, and that Bortlen wasn't acting alone that evening. The voicemail was shared on all of the main blogs within hours. Fans were clamoring for clarification. Some justified Bortlen by claiming that he might have been afraid. Perhaps he became anxious. Others, however, were less understanding, particularly in light of the previous Pressure music video, which gave the impression that he was playing victim. And just when things were getting out of control, the person behind the burner account came out, under the pseudonym Third Man Leaks. The same individual who leaked the video, the letter, the images. And now this voicemail went live on Twitch. Hip-hop live streaming records were broken with over 100,000 viewers. Speaking with a voice modulator, while donning a ski mask, he said, "Y'all been lied to long enough. It's time for the truth. They thought they buried it. But I was there, and I kept everything." He asserted that he was the third individual in the video, a ghost member of the NY Circle, not a murderer or a police officer, someone who was never in the spotlight yet got along well with the team. He claimed to have witnessed every moment of that night, the tension, the quiet, the betrayal, and to have been told to disappear or die after the gunfire. He said that up until this point, he had not spoken for 5 years. And why? No one was killed by Melly. They utilized him to cover a setup after he entered it. The comments went viral. Sorrow, rage, and incredulity. Fans were sobbing and pleading for more while texting in all uppercase. The masked individual stated that the next drop will take place in court, but he guaranteed more receipts were on the way, since he claimed that he had already turned a deal for whistleblowers. Federal protection. Whole statement provided to prosecutors in return for safety. Things become nuclear at that point. The addition of a surprise witness to the move to reopen. Melly's case was confirmed by Florida court reporters. Records revealed that a sealed testimony had been recorded, and sources think it's him. The third man, even if the name wasn't disclosed. The state of Florida must now choose a choice. It might be the first time in rap history for a well-known murder conviction to be completely overturned because to internet leaks if they accept the new evidence and permit The case to be reviewed. The real-life Netflix documentary series unfolding in real time is already being dubbed the trial of the decade by enthusiasts. However, the risks are far from over, even as Melly's legal team prepares to request a retrial, because a storm is on its way if this third man is indeed going public and if he names names in court. People are already predicting that he won't survive the trial because he's too dangerous to be left breathing. According to a blogger, Melly was placed under 24-hour surveillance in jail not because he committed suicide, but rather because authorities were worried that someone may try to silence him before he could testify. Bortlen, meanwhile, is now totally dark, no posts of everything. Melly. The same child that sang "Murder on My Mind" and went viral, the artist who disappeared as quickly as he appeared. We may be on the verge of one of the most startling reversals in the history of hip-hop. Law. And admirers are unsure on how to react. Some people feel validated. Others were deceived. Some people will stop at nothing to get the victims justice. Others want that Melly be liberated right away. The reality isn't straightforward. That much is certain. Who fired the gun isn't the only issue here. It concerns who organized it, who concealed it, who benefited, and who was abandoned to decay. And now that the third guy, the last jigsaw piece, is on the board, the entire game might change. However, this tale is far from over, due to the fact that the next court hearing is in 2 weeks, and everyone is observing. Each and every fan. All families. All blogs. Each label, because the moment the door of the courtroom opens, along with it comes the truth, and what comes next will permanently alter hip-hop. Family. If you thought this was crazy, know that the drama is just going to become more intense from here. The next court hearing may change everything we believed to be true regarding YNW Melly and Bortlen. Thus, you cannot afford to miss a single update. If you want us to continue providing you with every exclusive information, every top secret leak, and every unexpected turn as it happens, hit the like button now. Who do you believe actually pulled the trigger? Share your sexiest takedowns in the comments below. Is Bortlen the mastermind or the victim in this situation? Is the enigmatic third man a friend, an enemy, or something else? Because this tale is bigger than any one of us. We want to hear your theories, your anger, and your prayers. Additionally, what are you waiting for if you haven't already subscribed? To be the first to know when we reveal the next shocking revelation, click the subscribe button and enable notifications. You want a front row seat to the future of hip-hop drama as it unfolds live. And this is more than just celebrity rumors. Now, to miss it would be to miss the decade's biggest story. Thus, remain prepared, locked, and noisy, because, believe me, there is no turning back once the courthouse door opens. And you'll want to claim that you were present at every moment. I'll see you in the following video. Tranquility.